Hey everybody, it's Saratoga, and this is your weekly focus card reading for the week beginning May 18th through May 24th, 2020. And this is something I do every Sunday in addition to my other two weekly videos so that we can set up our energy for the week ahead and keep a good focus for our ascension and spiritual awakening. So this card says leap. And what's really funny is that when I was shuffling the cards, this card actually leaped right out of my hands, which was very interesting, right? So to me, that means that this card is sending us an incredibly strong message. Now, the words at the bottom of the card are, "You go first. The universe will catch you." Now, if you see a particular personal meaning in this card for you, go ahead and interpret it in that way in addition to what I'm saying, because what I'm talking about is going to be more of a collective energy. But if you see something personal for you as an individual, please feel free to take your own meaning from this card as well. So I'm going to try to keep this short because this could be a very long reading just from this one card alone. So what we have here is we have a woman who has just leaped off what looks like a cliff, and she is sort of looking back at her former self and her former reality. Now, why would this card say, "You go first and the universe will catch you"? Why would the universe say you go first? Why wouldn't the universe do something first instead? Because that's what we all wait for, right? We wait for the universe to do something for us, and then we'll go forward. The reason it says this is because we must take our own steps first in order to be met by the universe at a higher level, because we have free will. So really that's why it says you go first. Now let's look at the symbols and the images on this card. The terrain upon which this woman was formerly standing is very rough. It's cold looking. It does not depict warmth. It's almost like cold and jagged edges. So to me, that represents the earth-based reality that we have been living in for thousands of years. And if you look at the image of her former self standing on top of that rock or cliff, it's very faded, it's very gray, there's no color in that. As she leaps off of that old reality, the color is beginning to come back. And notice the color is a high vibrational color. It's a lavender or purplish color, which is a very high vibe color. So it means she's raised her vibration. She's going up, she's not going down. Here's what I want to add to the meaning of this card, because this is so incredibly significant. What is happening now in terms of our larger global situation is we are witnessing the fact that we do not live in the reality that we thought we lived in. That reality is proving itself to be extremely difficult, rough terrain, not a lot of love there, right? In terms of the bigger spectrum of things, the platform upon which we experience life and create. It's cold, it's barren. What's making it barren, I'm not going to go into it in this reading or I'll be talking to you guys for an hour, okay? But what's really making it cold and barren is the AI energy. And I'm going to do a whole video on that, okay? Maybe I'll even do it this coming week. So she's looking back, just almost saying her last goodbye to the old reality. Now, the other thing about the message in this card is that it doesn't come across as this is going to be easy for you, right? It's not going to be easy to go first and trust that the universe will catch you. On a collective level, this step that is being indicated is huge, because we're not just talking about leaving our personal old reality, we're talking about leaving a collective reality. And a lot of people, I think, are kind of sensing that these days, but they don't really know, like, what does that mean? How do I do that? How do I shift to a higher dimension, a higher platform of consciousness? How do I make that real for myself? So the way you make it real for yourself, I'll just give you a couple little hints. And of course, I will just continue to go into more and more detail in my regular other 2 weekly videos. But what it means is, it's not that you can't make that step. It's not that you can't experience the ascension that you really desperately need. It's not that you can't do it. What it is that there are things holding you back. There are things holding you down. We haven't realized yet as a human species the depth to which we are going to have to go within ourselves to question everything we've ever believed to be true. We are going to have to look at things within ourselves, within our deepest consciousness, and in some cases things that are incredibly ancient, that precede our current lifetimes by maybe even thousands of years. We're going to have to go deep within and come to terms with a lot that we have relied upon that is literally collapsing under our feet, because it's not just our current reality that's collapsing, it's the ancient history of what we thought was reality is also collapsing under our feet. But you see, this woman in this card, she's fine because she has recognized, you see there's a bit of regret in her face, a bit of sadness, maybe a bit of grief, like, gee, I really thought that this was going to be okay. But I realize now that it's not, and I realize that I have to make this move in my consciousness. Now we have a big symbol of the moon in this picture, which to me is really about emotion, because the energy of the moon is often about whatever emotional process we are going through. So the fact that there's this big image of the moon right behind her says to me that this is also going to be an emotional process. Because our attachments to the old reality, to what we believed in, what we thought was secure, what we thought was supportive, which is proving to be quite not so. It's an emotional attachment that we have to that old reality. So we're going to have to let go of that. We're going to have to really, as I said, go very, very deep and come to terms with beliefs that we have collectively taken for granted, beliefs about what we think reality is. So what I want to suggest to you guys for this week is this is really kind of an introspective week, I think, where you really want to just be with yourself, but try to be with yourself in a new way. Try to reposition yourself. Don't try to cope with what's happening in the world right now from the old place that you used to live from. Instead, realize, you know what? This thing is unfolding in ways that none of us ever dreamed, the way things are unfolding on this planet right now. So this means that we really have to go find a different space within ourselves from which to view things. Find that inner light, that inner cosmic presence of who we really are, that self that has the vision, that has the knowledge, that is not limited to this one physical lifetime. We have to go that deep, you guys. And from there, we will begin to see the unraveling of all that stuff we believed in, but at the same time, that's where the universe is going to catch us. Because as that old reality unravels, what's going to happen? The light of the truth is going to be revealed. So it's not like you're just letting go and, oh no, that's the end of the world for me. No, as you let go of those old beliefs, of that old reality, of your attachments to that old reality, you're allowing all of those, I don't know what to call it, sort of integrated thought structures and paradigms. You're allowing all of that to start to unwind. And guess what? The more that it unwinds, the more light will come into your being, the more illumination, because all that stuff represses your light. All of that stuff represses who you are. So as you let go, this is what is meant by the universe will catch you. As you let go, you realize that you're falling into the arms of the love and light of the true universe. And you'll notice too, I want to point out, in this card, the word universe is capitalized with a capital U. And this has particular meaning to me because I always specifically capitalize that word when I'm referring to the real universe, that brilliant, incredible, powerful, light-filled, love-filled, true reality that we are all really a part of. When I write the word universe with a small u, I'm referring to the finite universe, the universe that exists, that has all this duality, all this trouble, all of this confusion, a lot of darkness, things like that. So look again, one more thing I'll say to complete this. Look at her past self. It's dark, right? There's darkness there. Because the darkness means we've been in the dark. We haven't understood our situation at all. But now that she's taken that leap, she's coming into the light. Color is coming back into her being. And you can tell she's committed to the leap. She's committed. She's not changing her mind. There's also no going back, is there? If you look at this picture, you realize she can't reverse course now. She's taken that leap. There's no going back. And that's true for all of us, you guys. When we start to examine our deeper selves, our deeper emotions about reality, okay? Let me emphasize this one other thing. When I talk about emotions, I'm not just talking about the emotions related to your personal circumstances in this life. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the emotional attachment to reality as you have always believed it to be. That's the emotional level that I'm talking about. That's a level of emotion that we almost never consider. Never. It's completely subconscious. So now, going deep into that emotional attachment to what we always thought was reality and letting go of that, because we're being forced to let go of it because it's disintegrating. So there is a lot of emotion that's going to come up, but you can just let it go. Take that leap. The universe isn't waiting for you to take the leap and then it's going to catch you. It's not a linear thing. What it means is when you let go of that emotional attachment to that false reality, you're going to realize the universe was always there for you. It's always been there. It surrounds you. It's within you. It's supporting you forever and ever and ever. And that's the beauty and the joy and the peace that you will discover the more that you let go of that old reality, those old beliefs, all that junk that you thought was real that you're finding out isn't. Okay? So that is my message for you guys this week. I know somebody's probably going to ask me about these stones. So the blue stone is called Azumar. That is not a scientific name. I think it's a recently discovered stone. I can't tell you a whole lot about it. It's an incredible stone. It has many, many different qualities, including angelic qualities to it. But this is not about crystals, so we're not going to go into that. Now, the pink stone, I'm sorry to say, you guys, I don't remember what it's called. I bought this stone several years ago. I had it put away. I actually forgot I even had it until recently, but I think it's also a recently discovered stone. I think it might even be from China. I'm not really sure. I don't recall. I'm going to have to look into it again and figure out what that stone is about. But it is a beautiful stone. It's pink like rose quartz, but it's not rose quartz. Okay, so I want to share that with you guys now because I'm sure somebody's going to ask me about the stones. And of course you recognize clear quartz, right? Everybody knows clear quartz, which is a powerful amplifying stone. So that quartz is there to amplify the entire message. So what I suggest you do with these stones, guys, get the message from the stones, get the vibration from the stones, connect in with these stones yourself. Sometimes it's best not to know too much about a stone, because what happens if you know too much, you get a filter in front of you. And you're filtering through what you think the stone is about to what the stone is actually about, because every stone is individual. I might have to do a video on this, I don't know, because this is going to take too long. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reading, enjoy the vibration of these beautiful stones. Together, they really create a powerful synergy, and that amplifies this entire message. I'm wishing you all a beautiful week full of light, love, illumination, and inspiration. Namaste, everyone.